Hello friends. So in the previous lecture, or the first part of this lecture, what we did was we arrived at an expression for the normal stress and the shear stress experienced by the region of interest, which is inclined and present within a three-dimensional plane that is experiencing a biaxial tensile loading. And we saw that these expressions can be derived or arrived at by considering a set of graphical representation that involve few lines and a circle, and we refer to that as the Morse circle. So the way we arrived at this Morse circle was we considered a line AB. So this line AB, it represented the stress that is acting along the x direction. Please do not confuse this AB, which is the region of our interest, with the line AB, because AB is what pops to my mind first when I want to name a segment or a region. So please do not confuse that, or maybe it's better we get rid of this. So now we will talk exclusively in terms of this AB, and this AB is equal to the stress acting along the x direction, and in that we consider a segment AC, which is nothing but the stress acting along the y direction, and AC of course is less than AB, meaning this circle or this graphical representation is for a setup wherein the stress along the y direction is less than the stress along the x direction. And now for this setup we consider a circle with a diameter BC, and this we saw, and we located the center as O, and we introduced the angle of inclination by OE such that the angle made by OE with respect to OB, this B here, it is 2 theta. And we saw in the previous for the first part of this lecture that AD would give you the normal component of stress experienced by the region of interest, rather AD would give you the normal component of stress experienced by your region of interest under biaxial loading condition within the three-dimensional plate, and DE the shear component of stress experienced along the region of interest. Now we said that we will be looking into a condition wherein instead of biaxial tensile loading there is a compressive loading along the y direction, whereas there is a tensile loading along the x direction. So let us try to construct a similar graphical representation for such a condition. So what we have now is we will stick with the three-dimensional plate condition. So we have a 3D plate, and now instead of biaxial tensile loading we have combination of compressive and a tensile loading. So this compressive is sigma y and the tensile is sigma x, and since it's compressive, by convention it is negative, and so we have a region that is inclined by an angle theta. So these are the conditions that we want to work on. Now we began our previous representation by considering a point A, and AB represented the magnitude of the load along the x direction, the magnitude of stress along the x direction. So similarly AB here represents the same. Now let us have a point AC that represents the magnitude of stress along the y direction. In the previous case, in case of biaxial tensile loading, the AC was a segment within this AB, because both AC and AB were tensile load, therefore we had a segment within this AB that represented the stress along the y direction. However, now what we have is a condition wherein the load acting along the y axis is a compressive load and corresponding the stress is a compressive stress, and therefore by convention it has a negative sign. So that means it is acting along this direction. So our AC is along this direction. So before arriving or constructing any further graphical points or including any points in this graphical representation, so let us try to see what happens or how our initial expression changes when you have a negative sigma y. So we have already derived a set of expressions, that is we have an expression for the biaxial tensile condition, we have an expression for normal stress which is 1/2 sigma x sigma y plus sigma x minus sigma y cos 2 theta. So this is the expression that we already have for biaxial tensile loading, and similarly for the shear stress, the normal stress is this, and for the shear stress under biaxial tensile loading is 1 by 2 sigma x minus sigma y sine 2 theta. Now for a condition with combination of compressive and tensile, meaning you have minus sigma y and plus sigma x. For this combination, the normal stress component, if you substitute here minus sigma y and minus sigma y here, the expression changes to sigma x minus sigma y plus sigma x plus sigma y cos 2 theta. And similarly, as the expression for the normal stress changes, the expression for the shear stress will also change correspondingly. So what you are doing is you are replacing the sigma y here is with negative sigma y. So it would be 1 by 2 sigma x plus sigma y sine 2 theta. So using the graphical representation that we are talking about right now, we have to arrive at these type of expression. So when we arrive at certain expressions, so let's not be in here. So when you arrive at a set of expression using the graphical representation that we are discussing right now, it should be identical to the ones here. So by substituting the compressive condition into the expression that we have already derived, we arrive at this set of expression. So whatever graphical representations we do, the final expression should be of this form. So let us see if we are able to arrive at that. So whatever we have done so far in terms of the graphical representation is that we have included or we have considered a line AB that represents the magnitude of the stress that is acting along the x direction, and we have considered another segment AC now in the opposite direction, because the AC or the stress AC represent is a compressive stress, therefore it's in the negative direction. So we have considered it in the other direction opposite to AB. So now we have, similar to our previous condition, we now have two segments representing the magnitude, or at least the ratio of the magnitude along the x and y direction. Now we constructed the Morse circle, that is the Morse circle. The diameter of it was, in the previous case, sigma x minus sigma y. So if we adopt the same approach, then instead of sigma y here, for this compressive case, we will be having minus sigma y, and minus becomes plus. So we have to have a diameter of sigma x plus sigma y. So in that case, the Morse circle would be of this form. So in case of compressive and a combination of compressive and tensile stress, the Morse circle will include the whole of the segment and will be of this form. This is because the conventional description of the Morse circle is sigma x minus sigma y, and since we are talking about a compressive load condition wherein the sigma y is implicitly negative, we have a circle with diameter sigma x plus sigma y. Now let us assume O is the center of the circle, though we have a circle and O is the center of it. Now we have to include the inclination of the region of interest, that is theta. We did that by considering OE, which is inclined by an angle of 2 theta with respect to OP. So the OE is inclined by an angle of 2 theta with respect to OB, that is the radius. Now when you drop a perpendicular, this perpendicular will meet the diameter at D, and we saw that AD and DE is the segments that we need to consider, that is these segments AD and DE, we need to quantify them, because AD would correspond to the normal component of stress and DE would correspond to the shear component of stress. So let us see if we are able to do that. So we want to quantify AD. Now AD can be written as the combination of AO and OD. So AD can be written as a combination of AO plus OD. Now the OD is nothing but the part of the OD here is nothing but the part of the triangle or the right angle triangle OD. Therefore, when you consider cos 2 theta, that would be equal to cos 2 theta would be equal to OD by OE. So this would be equal to OD by OE. So that implies if we substitute this here, it would be OE by cos 2 theta. Now this OE here is nothing but the radius of the Morse circle. This OE is nothing but the radius of the Morse circle, and we have seen the diameter of the Morse circle is sigma x plus sigma y, and therefore the radius of the Morse circle would be, that is OE, which is the radius of Morse circle. So this would be OE would be then 1 by 2 of sigma x plus sigma y. So ultimately OD, which is OE cos 2 theta, would be 1 by 2 sigma x plus sigma y cos of 2 theta. So we have arrived at an expression for OD now. Now all that is left is arriving at an expression for AO. So this AO here in this Morse circle, AO can be expressed as the difference between this AB, this AO, that is the region of our interest or the segment that we want to quantify, is nothing but the difference between AB and OB. So AO is nothing but the difference between this AB here and the OB here. When you subtract OB from AB, you end up with AU. So let us write that. So it is nothing but AB minus OB. So I hope I have written it correctly. So it is AB minus OB. Now we know that, or OB, if you could see, OB is equal to OE, which is the radius, and this is nothing but 1 by 2 sigma x plus sigma y. This is the OB here, and AB by our definition is nothing but sigma x. So ultimately what you would end up having is AO is nothing but sigma x minus of 1 by 2 sigma x plus sigma y. So now ultimately what you would have is 1 by 2 sigma x minus sigma y. So now we have arrived at, so when you bring this 1 by 2 here and subtract it, you will have an expression something like this. Now we want to arrive at an expression for AD, that is nothing but AO plus OD. Now here we have an expression for AO and we already have an expression for OD. So we have an expression for OD and we have an expression for AO now. So substituting those two here, then you will arrive at an expression that looks like, that will be of the form 1 by 2 sigma x minus sigma y, or plus 1 by 2 sigma x plus sigma y cos 2 theta. So if you take the 1 by 2 out, it will be sigma x minus sigma y plus sigma x plus sigma y cos 2 theta. So this is AD. Now if you compare this AD with the expression that we got from the derived results, these two are similar. We have sigma 1 by 2 sigma x minus sigma y plus sigma x plus sigma y cos theta. So if you compare this with AD, both are identical, sigma x minus sigma x plus sigma y cos 2 theta 1 by 2. So this ultimately is nothing but, we have now arrived at an expression for the normal component of stress. Now similarly, we want to express or arrive at the or quantify the shear component of the stress, and for that let us assume or let us express or arrive at an expression for the other segment, that is DE. So we want to arrive at this expression for DE and see how it correlates with the shear components of stress. So this DE can be quantified by considering sine 2 theta. So sine 2 theta is nothing but DE by OD. So sine 2 theta is nothing but dE by OE rather. So let me write it down separately. Sine 2 theta is nothing but the hypotenuse, that is OE, and DE, the opposite segment of the opposite side. So DE is the segment that we are interested in, and OE is the hypotenuse, and DE can be written as OE sine 2 theta. And this OE is nothing but, we have already seen, it is the radius of the Morse circle. So this OE is nothing but the radius of the Morse circle, which is of this form. So if you substitute it here, then DE will be 1 by 2 sigma x plus sigma y sine 2 theta. And if you look at this expression and compare it with the shear components of stress that we arrived at by substituting minus sigma y in the expressions that we have derived, it is identical. So that means the DE relates to the shear component of stress acting on a region of interest that is inclined by an angle theta within a three-dimensional plate that is experiencing a load which is compressive along the y-axis and tensile along the x-axis. So what we have essentially done is using or by presenting and including the stresses that is experienced by the plate and considering the angle of inclination, including the angle of inclination in this graphical representation, we were now able to quantify or arrive at an expression for the normal stress and the tangential stress experienced by a region of interest inclined by an angle theta within a three-dimensional plate. So this we have done by considering two segments, that is DE and AD. So we have quantified just two segments, and when we arrived at this expression for these two segments AD and DE, we saw that these expressions, they relate to the normal and the shear component of stress that is experienced by the region of interest under the loading condition we have considered. So depending on the loading condition, the configuration of the graphical plot that we have considered vary. So far we have confined ourselves to 2 dimension, but it can be similarly extended to 3 dimension. But this discussion here shows the purpose of the Morse circle. So the purpose of Morse circle, it helps us understand or arrive at an expression for the normal and the shear component of the stress once you are able to accommodate all the different factors that impose the mechanical condition and also that describes the region of your interest. So once you are able to accommodate the stress condition, that is sigma x and sigma y, once you are able to accommodate sigma x and sigma y within the graphical representation, and also once you are able to include the angle of inclination theta, then you would be able to arrive at an expression by considering two segments, which in our case was AD and DE. By considering these two segments, we will be able to arrive at an expression for normal stress and the shear stress component that is experienced by the region of our interest. So ultimately, if I could give you the a recap of how we built the Morse circle, is that we considered two segments AB and AC. Here these segments, they correspond to sigma x and sigma y, and based on this we plotted a circle with the radius or with the diameter of the circle sigma x plus sigma y, or rather sigma x minus sigma y. So depending on the nature of your loading, the sign here would vary. For compressor, this becomes plus here. For biaxial tensile, this remains negative. And by this relation, you are able to plot the diameter. So the generalized expression would be this. So once you enter negative or minus sigma y here, it becomes positive, but this is the generalized expression. So this is the diameter of the Morse circle. And once you have included the angle of inclination theta in the form of 2 theta on the circle of the Morse circle, so you are including the nature of the region of your interest through 2 theta by considering a point E. So once you have introduced the nature of the angle of inclination or the nature of your region of interest through the angle of inclination by introducing a point E on the Morse circle. Then you can drop a perpendicular to the diameter, and that would be point D. And now once you have constructed, or once you have included the points E and D, then the segment AD and segment ED, these two segments will relate to the normal and shear stress respectively. So this is what we have so far understood from the discussion on Morse circle. So essentially what Morse circle does is it helps us to quantify or arrive at an expression for the stress conditions experienced by a region of interest, an inclined region of interest within a definite set of mechanical condition that is imposed. So we have considered two sets of mechanical condition. One is biaxial tensile loading, the other is a compressive and a tensile loading. We saw that in both these cases the nature of the graphical representation varied. However, we were able to end up with same expressions, or we were able to end up with consistent expression that is relatable, or that is equal to the expressions that we derived by considering the same segments, that is AD and DE. We were able to arrive at the same set of expressions. So in both these cases what we have done is we have considered the same set of segments AD and DE. Even in biaxial loading condition we consider this, even in the condition of compression and tensile we consider this, and both these were able to give us the expressions that is consistent with the normal and shear components of stress. So this is the importance of the Morse circle, and in the subsequent lecture we will dwell away from this discussion and move into a rather varied topic that is part of the, or that is also a critical part of the mechanical behavior of materials. So let's see ourselves in the next lecture. Goodbye.